Big exciting news to start your Saturday morning as big focus remains on two people. They're not the cows of the casino. They're not that person with that hairstyle and that other person. These two people could ultimately determine if you get big, bold, beautiful second stimulus, third stimulus, or whether you get sort of, nice, but not as as overwhelming stimulus as you really need. We're talking about stimulus checks. We're talking about FPUC. We're talking about hazard pay. We're talking about rent eviction. We're talking about rent aid. We're talking about student loan debt. And we're talking about that $2,400 emergency aid for Social Security, railroad benefits, and veterans benefits that could be landing in your account. This is incredibly great news, and it's really targeted news. It's a great day. I'm so glad you joined me on Mornings at LALATE. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Saturday morning. Hope you're good. It's Saturday. Don't tell Sirloin that. He'll be very upset that there's a holiday about another type of animal species, not cows. It's Saturday. So meow to you. Meow. And don't give me Grumpy Cat either. Don't give me Grumpy Cat. It's Morris and everyone else. I'm here, you're here, and the butter's buttering, the toast is toasting, and the Friskies feline is, getting a nice little plate of luxurious gourmet rice and fish. I'm so glad you joined me on a great day, Saturday morning, about your second stimulus, third stimulus, first stimulus, and a stimulus to get rid of the unstimulated in Washington. And it's just a great day. If you've not subscribed, please do, because we're going live, we're going taped. Yesterday I went live, and boy, Purple Power Live, if you don't join me every night at 6 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time, you gotta. I went live talking about hazard pay, that $10,000 that could land in your bank account, and I had a viewer from Nicaragua, Brazil, Mexico, Istanbul, and one from the Philippines tuning in yesterday. It was incredible. And every single live recording has about 5 people internationally who are, in some cases, just U.S. people overseas currently. Also, like this video. It helps in the algorithm. We're ranking number 1 or 2. And thank you for tuning in to Early Morning to LA earlier today. About 58,000, 60,000 viewers already in just about an hour. And then coming up right after this video at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time is Holidays LA. That'll give you your midday update about stimulus and second stimulus. All right, so much incredible, great news to start the new day. And in this recording, I will be going over the incredible focus on second stimulus coming out of Georgia. Yes, Georgia. Suddenly, everyone's focusing on 2 people in Georgia. These are 2 Senate races in Georgia. If these 2 Senate seats go Democratic, the entire Senate will fall Democratic. And suddenly everything that Joe Biden wants to give you and more, everything that he hasn't even told you about, he wants to give you, some free tickets to the casino, you'll get that as well. Everything that he'll want will literally walk through from the White House to the Senate to the House and get approved all for the next 2 years for your stimulus. This is incredible, great news. But what's important to understand is that relief is not something you have to wait to January 5th. I'm going to go over that as well, because people are saying when. I'll go over that as well. Next, new indication about businesses and the shuttering of businesses. Second, travel restrictions just announced minutes ago that are covering the Northwest and Southwest here in California as well. Then market too high is the stock market set itself up for a crash next week based upon a lack of focus and indication from stimulus. And then finally some mindset and personal reflections as well. If you've not subscribed, let's get to it. All right, here's the breaking news. The breaking news as you sit here today is that the world is looking to Congress to get stimulus done now, not later, not a month from now, not 5 months from now, and not certainly in February. And certainly some of the comments of the viewers also are a little confused as well, as new focus is on 2 Georgia Senate seats. Those 2 Georgia Senate seats go to a runoff on January 5th, and the results will be announced on January 5th, to which, if those seats both go Democratic, Then the Senate falls to the Democrats. And everything that Joe Biden details and everything that I detail on this channel, the incredibly robust, wonderful stimulus that everyone wants, that everyone needs, that everyone hopes to receive, would become a law. It would not even be a question of when or how. It would become a law. But simply with that, viewers react, well, that's January 5th. I need stimulus right now. Where is the stimulus right now? And here is the indication of the situation. There's a couple of things at play. The first one I'm going to go over is new stimulus to get passed by act of Congress right now. The second one is existing stimulus you can tap into. And the third one, which I've never detailed until right now, is extended state stimulus. Let me start with that one first. States have the ability to extend benefits under emergency clauses of their constitutions. They all have it. This is state constitutions. And when we talk about, for example, unemployment benefits, UI, PUA, FPUC, they're all expiring in late December. It's scary. It's scary. It's less than a month away. And so when we talk about them expiring, it's because you had state benefits, then you had state extended benefits, then you had federal benefits, and all of them are expiring in late December. Well, guess what? States can extend the benefits themselves. There's things called state extended benefits. It's a constitutional right. They've already extended it once. They can extend it again in the case of emergency. If a state believes that Congress will pass stimulus, let's say in March or January or late December, they can start extending it right now so that you do not lose weeks of benefits. This is incredible, great news. So what you need to do as the followers of this channel, Purple Power, is go on Twitter and tag your state elected governors and say, please extend my state benefits because I can't have a lapse of benefits in late December. It's too scary. I can't survive that way. And they would likely extend benefits. A lot of states have done wonderful things like this in recent days. And to say, and it's absolutely categorically incredible. They did this in the case of people who did not get LWA. They came back and said, you know what, you didn't get LWA, I'm going to now extend it. The only states that I'm a little bit concerned about are states that have an enormous populations, and those are the big ones. California, Texas, and Florida are the ones that have I have a concern that perhaps their financial considerations might not allow them to extend it very long. But otherwise, they have done it before, and they could do it again. Next, stimulus checks. FPUC, stimulus checks, hazard pay. There is $150 billion of CARES Act 1 money that is still sitting out there. And cities, counties, and states are still sending that money out. They actually have to send it out because they'll use it or lose it. So please go on Google News and look for CARES Act 1 plus city plus grant for your city or county. That money is out there. You need to get that money now because I know what you're talking about. I know what you're saying. We're all talking about the same thing. You were talking about those Georgia Senate races, and it's absolutely would tee you up for incredible great relief, but you need relief now. And every time you hear about something in January, it just... yeah, I got it. You get it as well. So please try to tap into those grants. Next, if you are a single practitioner, solo practitioner, independent contractor, you do anything that is a side hustle, that you have it as a Schedule C in your tax return in 2019, or you've not done your tax return and you can do your Schedule C, please go get an EIDL loan because it's money that is essentially free for the next 12 months. Let me explain how this works. For example, if you're an Uber driver, even if you, and I want to make this very clear, if you don't even have a 1099, it doesn't matter if you don't have a 1099. If you drove for Uber and made, let's say, let's do the math right now, $6,000 in 2019, and it cost you $0 to do that, okay, this is how much you get. $3,000 in your bank account within about a week. Yes, you want $3,000? Do this. When do you have to repay it in the next year? You don't. You don't have to repay any of it in the next year. Guess what happens a year from now? You're out of the pandemic. Guess what happens after 1 year? Then over the next 30 years, you have to repay $3,000. You know how slow repayment of $3,000 is? It's like $10 a year or $10, $5 a month. A year from now, you will look back and say, geez, I'm so glad that guy told me to get that $3,000. I really needed that. The calculation is how much you made divided by 2, how much you made minus your cost of goods sold, which in the situation was 0 divided by 2. $3,000 in your bank account, and it comes literally in about a week from applying, literally from the date you apply to the money in your account. You need that money, so go get it. So grants and SBA, and then the third equation, Congress. Yes. People ask me, what are they doing? And they're asking me to predict crazy people that are wacko, people that make no sense. Last week, Mitch said the top number one priority in the Congress is to get stimulus passed right away. Well, it's Saturday. Did he do it last week? No. Is he going to do it next week? Well, he says he will. Is he going to do it? I don't know. These are crazy, wacko people. But here's the push. Here's the push, and we have done this before and won at this, so do it again. If Mitch McConnell wants to win those 2 Georgia Senate seats, he has to pass stimulus now. Not in January, but now. He has to actually get it done, because otherwise those Senate seats are going to go Democratic. And guess what? It works on the other side. If the Temple of Dooms wants to sit back and say, you know what, I'm not going to give you stimulus so that everything implodes and we win in the Democrats. No, people have seen that game before. It didn't work. When you hold back people's stimulus to try to win Senate seats, it has failed for the Democrats as well. So basically, the only thing that gets you a win for a seat is giving people stimulus, and not giving people anything but partisan bickering loses a seat. So could Mitch and the Temple of Doom and all at the House and the Senate pass stimulus next week because of the fear of losing the Senate seats? Absolutely. Do I believe they will? Yes. But is that in my opinion? It's only my opinion. It's not a fact. I don't know what these crazy wacko people do, but they have to do something, or they're going to lose on both sides. Both sides will face a problem. But then there's $2,400 that could land in your bank account. $2,400 that could land under these incredible proposals for the Biden administration. First, he wants to propose an increase of $200 a month for Social Security beneficiaries that would land in your bank account every month until December 31st, 2021. This is incredible, great news. It would be about $2,600 from today's date, so it's a lot of money. Next, he wants to increase your Social Security benefits a lifetime by upwards of 20%. This is also really great news. So if you receive about $1,000 Social Security check every month, you would get $1,200, and it would continue to increase 20% every month for a lifetime. Next, he wants to change the benchmark on which your benefits are increased, and that benchmark would no longer be COLA. It would be a new benchmark which moves faster and higher based upon how much it costs to live as a senior. This is incredible, great news. So suddenly not 1, not 2, but 3 benchmarks could raise your benefits across the board. Next, Joe Biden wants to bring back Lifeline grant, that $50,000 Lifeline grant. Oh my goodness, yes, incredible, great news. Additionally, he wants that EIDL grant back in there, and so does Mitch. Mitch wants that EIDL grant. The difference is, will Jovita Carranza hold up the remainder of your $10,000 grant? And will Jovita Carranza hold up the remainder of your $10,000 grant for new applicants? The answer is no. Come January, Jovita Carranza's gone. She's a Republican nominee. She's a Trump nominee. She will be gone. And in her place will be a Democrat nominee who, by all accounts, will do exactly what Chuck Schumer and all those other senators have written SBA for months. Pay the remainder of the $10,000 EIDL grant. You will get the remainder of the $10,000 grant that you were unpaid all these months, and new applicants will get a $10,000 grant. So if you're a sole practitioner, independent contractor, you will get a $10,000 grant. Also, you'll get the excess of your EIDL loan, your increase that you always wanted but had not gotten it because of loan ceiling provisions that Jovita Carranza put in there that did not comply with CARES Act. Next, stimulus check. Wow, let's get to some stimulus checks. So Joe and Mitch want to have you have stimulus checks, and so does the Temple of Doom, and so does the Senate. But the issue is how big and how bold and beautiful. And viewers have asked me, well, where would that stimulus check be impacted from Georgia? The good news is that Georgia does not impact the $800 billion of CARES Act 1 money that's currently sitting at SBA. unused PPP money. That's unused PPP money. And it would amount to about a $5,000 stimulus check. That has nothing to do with Georgia. And I got to tell you why. Because ultimately, it doesn't cost the federal government a penny. When the money doesn't cost the federal government a penny, Mitch loves it. He loves anything that's free and anything that doesn't cost the federal government any money. So you need to be on social media and get the message out very loud and clear to Mitch to do a standalone bill to send out that $5,000. But this is the way you phrase it. Mitch, repurpose that CARES Act 1 unused PPP money. Send it out as a standalone stimulus check right now. We need it. And you know what? You'll win your Georgia seats if you do. Would Joe agree to that? Yes. Would Nancy agree to it? I don't know. These are wacko people. But everyone should agree to it because ultimately it's not their money. It doesn't increase the national debt. It's a bipartisan provision because it would not key into anything that is negative for the Republicans or the Democrats. And this is what's categorically incredible. What's important to say is that the stimulus needs to come to you right away, and this is something you need immediately. Finally, if in addition to that stimulus, could you get other stimulus? Absolutely. So $2,000 every month for 6 months until the pandemic goes down or unemployment goes away. You need that. And that is what Joe Biden and VP-elect Harris want to provide you. Over the last 24 to 40 hours, Harris and Biden have said, no, you need stimulus checks as long as this pandemic goes on and until unemployment goes away. You need them right away. And we can't sit around and not pay them. Next, let me turn to some breaking news across the board. Just 2 minutes of that, and we will be finished for the mornings. First, business travel is being suspended in California to some extent. Gavin Newsom and other states in the Northwest, Washington and Oregon, have said if you're traveling, you need to self-quarantine within 14 days after traveling. It's not a mandatory rule, but it's a discretionary rule at the moment, but it could change very quickly. Second, new reports show that Wall Street may be too exuberant about the vaccine last week, and they could be setting themselves up for a crash. A new report from CNBC today says, in other words, when investors get enthusiastic, it means the market's due to cool off a bit and perhaps less able to shake off scary headlines. But it doesn't pay to immediately assume a bullish public will automatically be proven wrong. Then the governors of California, Oregon, and Washington have had joint corona task force in place to deal with the growing numbers of cases in the West. There's new concerns as cases are escalating. Oregon yesterday went on a 2-week curfew lockdown. Every city and state is calling something different, whether it's a curfew or lockdown. And finally, my personal message, which is I saw yesterday night, businesses here in Southern California literally closed at 8 o'clock. No one anywhere, literally a ghost town. There's no lockdown in place, and that's how they're dealing with the situation. Let me answer some of your incredible questions and comments from yesterday's video. Jerrietta, our government really wanted to help the people. They would have accepted a smaller stimulus bill and then a bigger bill next year. That's well said. Hey, Zeus, America needs help now, right? Amen. Jenny, I can't believe the way our government has treated people. Hey, Zeus, they need to stop playing. Planet Earth, says a guy, call Nancy Pelosi. CP, it's crazy how the government's acting. Tammy, this is embarrassing. Marianne, we need it now. Sean, I've been sending messages to Mitch McConnell's Facebook page. Wanda, my mom's on Social Security, needs an increase. Mike, so when is it gonna get passed? Remy, get it done. If you have questions or comments in today's video, drop them in the comments below. I might feature them in tomorrow's recording. Also, go to the Finish channel, subscribe. Subscribe because we're having a lot of fun. We're going to get to the finish line together. Also, like this video. Coming up next is Holidays LALATE at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay LA for more.